man that I would be a rugby fullback. I fight touch, she fight touch, we both fight touch together. We'd be alright in the middle of the night, finding touch together. If I were marrying kind, which thank the Lord I'm not so, the kind of man that I would be a wing three-quarter.
This is Initiate the Contact. I am Stephen Murray with the coach, Dayle Runner. We are broadcasting live here on this Wednesday evening, May the 10th, 2023. It is 7:30 Eastern Standard Time here on the beautiful shorelines of Virginia Beach, Virginia, the United States of America. This is Deep End's coverage of Major League Rugby and more, as we'll go down on the farm as well. But here we are. We had to take a little break there. Of course, I have some family health issues going on. You may be aware of that. Maybe you aren't. If you are now, sometimes we disappear for a second, and that's what happens. And Coach Dayle needed a little vacation time as well. Yeah. So after that long season, so here we are. We're back in full force here on the show. Dayle, how's it going, man?
Oh, everything's going fantastic. Yeah, I needed a break there. It was a long spring. We just
you just had another game, though. I mean, you got a little bit of a break, but you got this friendly game with Severn River, and you guys won it too, right?
We sure did. It's good to, we won that match because we came back after an embarrassing loss to North Bay. And
which we'll have our boy
Jeff.
Jeff Adamczyk on later from North Bay, as they're in the Final Four. You at least lost to a Final Four team now.
We did. We lost to a Final Four. When I meant embarrassing, though, I was talking about our play, not so much theirs, because they outplayed us completely. And I learned 3 or 4 things in that match that I will take forward to make sure our team does better in the long run. That's what coaching is all about, just like playing. You make adjustments. You got to do what you got to do to get better. You can know everything about the game, but if you don't make any adjustments when you need to make adjustments, it doesn't matter. I know plenty of guys that know every law in the book. They know how to say loose piece, tight piece, whatever it is. But yet, it's like the other stuff. They don't do nothing with it, so it doesn't matter. So what I try to do every match, I try to learn something to take back to the team to make us better and make myself better. So it was a very humbling loss, but also it's going to make us better.
Doesn't it just feel good too, though, when, I just know for myself, and I'm like, you know what, I just learned something new for today, and I feel so much better for that, right?
Yeah.
So, there's a lot to learn in rugby.
Oh, my gosh. You can never learn enough.
Well, anytime you have 15 on 15 with one referee, it's going to be a complete crazy chaos. You always hear there's every sport, like there's never two any alike games ever played. There's always going to be some little difference of something, even if it's a half step here or there. Yes. But rugby, good Lord. That's players running all over the place.
Yes,
look at those forwards over there in the corner, not anywhere close to the play. Okay, so here's what we'll do on the show. We'll go ahead and get caught up on Major League Rugby here, and then we'll go down on the farm with Jeff in North Bay, and we'll talk some more Newport News stuff too. How about that, Coach Dayle?
Yes.
Okay, let's get to it. Let's go to the standings first. Let's see where we stand.
Let's do that.
All right, so 4 points for a win, 2 points for a draw, 0 points for a losing match, and you get 1 losing bonus point if you lose by 7 points or fewer, and you get a point if you get the try bonus of 4 tries or more. So That's how the standings here are determined here in Major League Rugby. So let's go to the standings.
Let's look at the standings.
Load them up. Okay, here they are. They finally popped up here. All right, let's go to the West, which is the dominant conference. And Dayle, it's really about stayed the same since we last left. San Diego is sitting on top still. 10-1 overall now. They have 49 points, so they even have some separation in the point standings. They've scored 156 as a positive point differential. 366 points scored, only 210 allowed, which is Second best, Seattle right behind them, only allowing 205. But Dayle, how about San Diego, 10-1 right off the bat? I know you've enjoyed watching them the times you've gotten the hold of them, right?
Oh yeah, they're what I really like about them is they're counter rucking. Okay, like they what they'll do is they'll make you pay. If you make a mistake, usually at that level, everybody's pretty much even as far as, athletic ability, rugby knowledge, but it's what you do with the next part of the game. So what they do is like North Bay did with us. We take it right down the field and we make a mistake. They counter it and they bring it all the way back up the field and score. So that's what San Diego's been doing with everybody. Every time I look around, it's like, hold up, man. They just got driven down there, but now it's going back the other way and they're scoring and they're making, it's make it, take it. You get the ball right back and then they make you pay because then you start getting out of position. When you're losing, what happens is you mentally, and Johnny Law preaches this all day. We just started preaching this, is the mental game. So your backs will start coming in on the offensive side. So, because you're just watching the forwards take it down the field, and it's natural. It's a natural thing. So then we turn it over, then they can't get back in position quick enough, and then they're scoring on us. That's what San Diego has been doing to every team they played.
Well, the other thing that they do, too, is that they answer the bell. I mean, if you swing and you punch them in the face, they punch you right back and score, right?
Yeah.
And answer your score.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's demoralizing. All right, yeah. All right, we got one on them. Oh, there they are. They're back in the try zone themselves just 2 minutes later. So celebrations short there when you're the opposition to the Legion. Okay, Seattle's number 2, 8-2 overall. Their most troublesome opponent of the year has been San Diego. So we'll see how these two we'll see what happens down the road. Now, they played each other twice.
Right.
So they're going to have to meet here in the postseason if they can get there. Now, Houston will have something to say about that potentially. And Utah as well, who also handed Seattle a loss. But Houston 7-3, Utah 6-4, 28 points for the Warriors, 36 for Houston. So they are trailing Seattle by 3 points. They have 39. What about it, Dayle? These top 4 teams have been right in this order for the most part all year long, except for that one time the Legion have flipped with the Seawolves. But all these teams are consistently pretty decent, right?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I think the biggest difference between let's take Utah and San Diego. I think, honestly, I mean, I know this sounds crazy to a lot of people, but I think that Utah is not in as good a shape as the other teams. Because when I watched them play Old Glory, at first they were dominating them on fundamentals and athletic ability. But then Old Glory came back and beat them. They stayed the course. So what's happening is Utah, if you look at all their matches, they fight and they fight and they fight. And if they don't get something, then either their condition or their discipline sets in. And really both of them go hand in hand. If you're out of shape and somebody scores on you, then you start getting undisciplined. And that's what's happening to Utah in certain games.
Dallas, while they've been competitive in a lot of these games, they just can't get a win.
I'm telling you.
They're 1-10 overall. Now, they've given up 316 total points. So that's a lot here in this league. And they've only scored 173. But Dallas really haven't turned around here towards the end of the season like we had hoped that they might. And the Chicago Hounds, we know that they're a new team. They're going to have to get their feet wet maybe before they do anything. But they're not doing much either here, 1-9 overall, 8 points for them. So these two teams will just try to play for moral victory here as we head down the stretch.
Right.
As we go into week 12 now. Wow, round 12, as they'll call it in Major League Rugby. But any take on Dallas or Chicago, Dayle? You've been on the losing end of some games and some poor teams with poor records there.
Look, I sort of feel for Dallas because I've watched them 3 times this year, right? And, man, they do a lot of good stuff, man. They offload well.
Well, I think they've lost 3 games by 4 points or something at one point in the season, right? Okay.
They tackle well, but the problem is on offense, we always talk about this. okay, like let's say I break one, I get a big run, okay, and I score. Okay, man, cool. I can keep doing this. But really, you're not, because the other team's going to make adjustments to that. If not, they shouldn't be at that level, if you get what I'm saying. So what they're doing is they get a little anxious, carried away. They go in by themselves and lose the ball, because at this level, they're going to poach you. And every time I watch Dallas, they give up these points because they're undisciplined and they're like first grade level rugby on fundamentals, not athletic ability or conditioning, but on fundamentals. They're the worst team in the league on fundamentals as far as setting the ball, rucking, they're mauling. I mean, they're not doing it correctly. That's just all I can say, really. I don't know the exact terms I'm looking for, but their tight play has really been screwing them all year. I mean, they're going to have to get somebody to come in here and change that.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the East here.
Mm-hmm.
And when we last left you, we only had one team above 500 in the East. The rest of them were 500 or below. And here we are, Dayle, week 12, round 12, going into that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing. New England is 8-2 overall, 291 points scored for them. Just 162 yielded on defense. 129 is the plus point differential for them. 38 points. They are firmly in command here in the East. Old Glory has 29 points in second. New York, 28 points in third. New York with a convincing win over NOLA last week, who sits behind them with 26 points. 5 and 6 duplicate records there. But the point differential is going to be the determiner,
right,
besides the points. It's 29 plus for New York, minus 29 for NOLA. Rugby Atlanta, 5-5 with 24 points, a minus 5 point differential. Check this out, Dayle. 5-5 for Rugby Atlanta, 5th place. 5-5 for Old Glory, 2nd place. And the 3rd and 4th place teams are 5 and 6. So that's kind of interesting. So they're right here. They're in the mix for the playoffs still. And Toronto, we'll just group them with the Dallas and Chicago Hounds here.
Right.
1-9 overall. They have just 8 points.
Somebody didn't like Toronto at the beginning of the year. I'm sorry.
That 5-game road trip to start. And they're at home this week. We'll talk about the games here in a second. But how about that? Dallas, Chicago, and Toronto are a combined 3-28. Woof. That's a lot of losses.
Woo-hoo.
All right, 8 points for Toronto. Your take of the East, Dayle. New England, I know you like the inside center there. They're a good team. I feel like they can beat you with the defense. And, they can also score it as well if you want to get into some kind of – or try to make it a running match with them.
Yeah.
That's going to basically be against the West teams, not these other teams, I think. But your take here in the East.
So New England's definitely the top dog, obviously. Their defense is off the chain. They play great post and pillar to forwards, come up and move everybody out. And you'll never see their wing or outside center creep in, ever, when New England's on offense. I watched them.
Yeah, they're just well coached.
They stay outside. I don't know how you coach that other than just say 5,000 times, stay outside. That way they don't come in, if you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But what I like about these next 4 teams, and I ain't on none of their bandwagon, but Old Glory, they might be in as good a shape, if not better shape than everybody out there, because every game they get down and then they come back. Especially lately, that's what they've been doing. If they could start off as well as they finish, they might be 8-2, just like New England. But at the beginning of the year, they were screwing up bad at the beginning of the games, and they were.
Yeah, you're a hater, Dayle. You were a hater on the DC Old Glory earlier in the year, but you've turned your tune with them, right?
Yeah, like I said, man, you can make adjustments in any sport. So a lot of times people get caught up in straight fundamentals and structure, which is great. Okay, you need that. But okay, this is not working, so we need to change up something. Old Glory's changed something up. I don't know what it is, but they're in every match, and I look for them finishing second in this division over New York.
Okay, let's get to the schedule for the week.
All right.
Okay, and to our dismay, there are no point spreads available right now on these games. They'll likely drop tomorrow. In previous weeks, we've gotten some spreads on Wednesdays, and then they all show up on Thursdays. Maybe we'll get a handful on Wednesdays, not quite the whole slate, but the rest show up on Thursday. So if you want to find betting angles, then you can go ahead and look for those lines at your sports book of choice, probably starting tomorrow. Okay, so the first game is on the Rugby Network, and all these games are on the Rugby Network, unless you have a nationally televised game on Fox Sports 1 or 2. But the Toronto Arrows at home, the one win on the year, Dayle, against 5-5 Rugby Atlanta. Now, if Toronto's going to win a game here, maybe down the stretch, maybe this is it. Rugby Atlanta 5-5, they probably are actually playing their better rugby of the year, maybe a little bit. Maybe that's too much to say here. But what do you have? What's your take on this, Dayle? Can Toronto get a win here at home against Atlanta?
What Toronto's going to have to do is just stay in the game, because what Rugby Atlanta does, they like to get up early because they got superior speed on a lot of teams. But what happens is they're in worse shape than any team out there. So that's why they're 5-5 or 5-6 rather than being
27-12 winners last week against Chicago and Atlanta.
And that should have been more than that, but they ran out of gas and they couldn't do anything. So that's a problem the coaches got to fix, and they got the players have to work out in off time and off season. But this might be one of these games. I'm going to take Toronto. Toronto's going to lose to Rugby Atlanta 25-22 on us.
Okay. And Toronto did get an off week last week, as many teams did. We only had 4 matches last week, actually. But Toronto's last time out, they lost 40-24 at NOLA, and then the previous game at home, they put up 27 points against Seattle's defense, which is pretty nice. But the problem there is they gave up 36, so that's going to translate to a loss. I don't know. I'm going to give Toronto a shot here, just like you kind of did, Dayle. I think it's going to be a closer game. I think they're probably going to, if you tell me it's a 3-point loss, that's probably going to cover the point spread that's going to be available. I'm going to guess anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll look for maybe Toronto to maybe get a win. Okay, Dallas, they'll be at home against Utah. This is 6 p.m. on Saturday on the Rugby Network, and Friday night is the Toronto game, 7 p.m. on the Rugby Network. But 6 p.m., no day games on Saturday. You have to wait till the evening. But Dallas and Utah. Now, can they get off the snide, Dayle, against Utah, who's my kind of little favorite team here in the West? They're good, but they're not quite good enough as the other good teams, is really what it translates for them, for the Warriors. But Jackals Warriors, can Dallas get the upset here?
I doubt it, because they're they're just very undisciplined. They don't do fundamentals very well, and I'm just telling you, it's like you'll have a guy break through the line, get 40 meters. Okay, where's his support? At that level, man, there always should be 2 or 3 guys with somebody.
Right.
So,
Utah, that's one thing they do good is support their back line. They do have good speed back there as well.
But the thing with Utah, their worst thing is they're just like Rugby Atlanta. Them two are almost even as far as their conditioning and where to be out on the pitch when you need to be there. But I'm going to take, even though Utah's going to road to Dallas, I'm going to take them in a 17-13 win.
Are you saying Utah should be playing Atlanta in the Car Tire Bowl at the end of the season?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yes,
yeah, I think Utah probably wins this game. I'll give it a 24-10 score line for me. All right. Interesting game here. Up and down NOLA Gold. Man, they can look so good at times, and other times they get the hammer laid to them. We might have to get our boy Doc on to see what's going on down there. But big home game against San Diego Legion. All right, so the Legion coming in. Can NOLA pull the upset here, Dayle? This is 6 p.m. Saturday night on the Rugby Network.
No, I don't think so. I believe NOLA will play them close the first 30 minutes of the game. And I'm just going to say this. When San Diego scores their first try, and then they get the ball back, Nola's going to be getting out of position. And after that, San Diego's going to run it up in them. I'm looking at 42 to 17. I just don't think the Nola goal can keep up with San Diego at all. That fly half and that outside center and wing combination for the Legion, them guys are so fast they can play tennis with themselves. So I'm going to take San Diego and win that over Nola.
Okay, we might actually have a little surprise here in a minute. A surprise Major League Rugby guest here, Dale. How about that?
All right.
All right. 8 o'clock on Saturday night. Houston SaberCats host the Seattle Seawolves. This might be the game of the week. 8 p.m. on the Rugby Network. What do you see here? Houston's a good team. On the road is Seattle. So Houston, can they get the win here?
I don't think so. I just think it's going to be tight. I believe this is going to be a real close game right here. But I'm going to take Seattle at a 23 to 20 win on that one because Houston is home, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're going to play them close. There'll be some good defensive structure, good flat line defense in this one. But I believe Seattle pulls it out at the end with a penalty kick.
All right, and Old Glory DC on Sunday, 1:30, host New England. This might be the game of the week for sure in the East. It's the top two teams here. But big game in Leesburg with the Free Jacks and Old Glory. Man, this would be a good one to take Miss Lisa to there on Mother's Day. Dale, but what do you see here? Can Old Glory get the upset?
Just depends on how.
This is a good game. This might be very entertaining. Watch it if you can. Rugby Network.
Oh, yeah. I think Old Glory is going to have to, play really good defense. They're going to have to stay in the game because New England, I tell you, like that inside center is off the chain for them. That guy's a horse. And the scrum half for Old Glory, once in a while, he'll get a little erratic here and there. Man, when he's playing his game now, he's off the chain. But if you get him to get a little bit of attitude or whatever, you can get him out of his game and get him frustrated. And like I always mess with Johnny Law because we got a scrum half who likes to take it up in there every so often. And if he breaks through and makes a great play, you're never going to be mad. But if he gets in there and gets jammed up and we lose the ball, then you get irritated and jacked up. And that's what happens with this guy for Old Glory. It's hard to pronounce his name, that scrum half of them. But
Right.
I'm going to take New England to win this in a 27-23 match, sir.
I'm going to think this is – now, New England has a good defense. I'm going to think Washington can show a little bit of offense at home here. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game, like you said, but maybe even a little higher scoring game. And I'm going to say 35-31, and I'm going to give the upset to Old Glory here. How about that?
Going with the upset. I like it.
Last game on the slate, 2 o'clock on Sunday on the Rugby Network. We have Chicago Hounds hosting the New York Ironworkers. Dale, the Ironworkers last week laid the hammer to NOLA, and we're going to have a guest here in a minute from the NOLA Gold. How about that? But 54-19.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Chicago losers to Rugby Atlanta 27-12. We talked about that.
Right.
All right. So how does this go, Dale? Is this another beatdown?
Yeah. What's going to happen is the Ironworkers are going to build a dog pen, and they're going to have them hounds clogged up inside that pen, and they ain't going to be able to escape that iron because New York is just going to wax them boys. I'm looking at a 49-14 victory for New York. That's the wax job of the week. I think, yeah.
Hey,
so what's great about this thing coming up? All right,
coming on.
these
Let me put
I
you
want
on
all
hold.
my players,
And I'm plugging
in the amateur level, like Division III and Division II, watch these matches on TV and get something out of every match. Okay, that way you can take it to your team, even if it's the littlest thing. Take something back to your team. That way, you can see what everybody's doing. You're never going to learn enough about this game. You're going to learn something new every match. So just get something out of each one of these matches, guys.
Okay, Dale, we have a guest on the line.
Okay.
All right. He's from our boy, the Norfolk Blues. He has been called up to the NOLA Gold. He got the phone call. So we're going to talk to Giovanni Lapp. He plays in the back line. Giovanni, welcome to the show. This is Initiate the Contact. You're on with Stephen Murray and Dayle Runner. How's it going, man? All right, so you play in the back row. You played for the Blues. When did you get wind that you might be heading to NOLA to get some time with the Gold here? How did that go down? Right, we're just talking about it. Yep.
Yep.
All right, so you've been down there before, but what was the adrenaline like in your head when you got that call? I mean, was it shocking? Did you think maybe something like this would happen? Did you immediately get amped up? Like, what was your reaction when all this went down?
That's great. Hey, Giovanni, this is Dayle, head coach of Newport News. How you doing, sir? All right. I appreciate you coming on, but so how long have you been playing rugby, sir? I hear you.
Well, where was that at? Where did you go to college?
Okay. So have you always played back row 6, 7, and 8? All right, awesome. So your team this year, Norfolk Blues, y'all had some struggles and some good times at the same time, because I got a couple of guys that work with me at the shipyard to play with you guys. So let us know how your team went this year over there in Norfolk. How did y'all do all together? Yeah. Yeah.
Giovanni, you're coming into a situation here with the Gold where this team sits right in the middle of a playoff race with 3 other teams, all right, who are basically just vying for the one spot here in the East. If you think that New England can kind of run the table and not regress here, which they could. I mean, that could all start this week with Old Glory DC win for sure. So your timetable's unknown for how long the season may go for you. What do you do for like housing accommodations? Do you end up staying with one of the guys? Do you go ahead and get a hotel for a month or two, the team puts you up in a camper next to the stadium. How does that work out? Doc? We've had Doc Zilla on the show, or Doc Irie. Jim Doc Irie's been on the show with us. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, what kind of impact do you hope to make right off the bat? I mean, you guys got San Diego Legion coming in here, the best team, 10-1. You've probably played them before, and they've always been pretty decent here in Major League Rugby, I would say, at least from what I can remember. So, what do you see in this opponent that you guys have this week? I'm sure there's still I'm sure the chatter's nonstop about them coming in. So what do you got? Dayle was saying that exactly what you just said. They just do not make mistakes.
They don't make
at all. Is this maybe the most complete Major League Rugby team that you've seen in the history of the league? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. You know what's funny about rugby, right? Is one, it's make it take it. Just like we used to play basketball. I ran full court 35 years. Basketball, make it take it, you get it right back. But it's a little bit different because in rugby, you can be in a game. It could be 10-5, let's say hypothetically, and with 20 minutes left, let's say we score on you. Now it's 15-10. We won't worry about the conversion. 15-5, excuse me. Then we get it right back and we go down and get another try. Now the game is totally out of hand. And see, a lot of people that don't know rugby don't understand that. So you can have a game that's so close and so competitive, and then with 15 minutes left and get totally out of hand, have 5 tries scored against you, and everybody's like, because when I tell people to score sometimes, they're like, man, y'all got blown out. And a lot of guys just don't understand it, you know what I'm saying? So one thing I like what you were saying, because even though they're 10-1, why are they 10-1? You know what I'm saying? Are they 10-1 because they're more athletic? Are they more rugby knowledge? Are they in better shape? Are they in correct position all the time? What is it? With rugby, like any sport, you have to make an adjustment to whatever it is. So rugby is a lot different than a whole lot of other sports, if you get what I'm saying. Exactly. Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. I always say the biggest difference between higher and lower level rugby is, for the most part, it's a tight 5 because of the safety and the technique and the physicality part on that. But at this level, everybody's the same, so that really is out the window. So you're 100% correct on that.
Giovanni, which number jersey do you prefer to wear? Your back row player. Pick your poison. If you get a chance to start at any position you want, which one are you taking? You taking that 8-man? What are you doing?
Hell yeah.
All right, Giovanni, man, we wish you luck. Thank you for coming on with us on the fly. I'll send you a link so you can catch the interview and pass it on to the boys. Tell Doc that we said what's up from the studio, and we appreciate you coming on, man, and good luck. And hopefully you have a nice, safe, crushing end of the regular season and into the playoffs. All right, good luck.
Thank you for your time, sir. Yep.
Okay, great. Giovanni Lapp. He is with the NOLA Gold. Called up from the Norfolk Blues, Coach Dayle. So good for him, man. That's nice. That's nice. All right. Let's do this. Let's shuffle the deck here. We talked about Major League Rugby. You've got a good guest on there.
Yeah.
Let's go down on the farm. We need to get our boy Jeff on here. We're going to take a quick break. We'll run a commercial or two, regroup. We'll get Jeff on the phone here, and then we will go down on the farm and discuss Nationals. How about that, Dan?
Yes,
Nationals coming up June 3rd. They'll play North Bay in St. Louis. Opponent to be determined.
Yes.
All right, but we'll talk about the excitement of the Final Four with Jeff here in a few minutes. All right, this is Initiate the Contact. I am Stephen Murray. He is the coach, Dayle Runner. Newport News, a beast for sure. We will be back right after this.
If I were to marry kind, which thank the Lord I'm not so,
Good.
the kind of man that I would be
Yeah, he was a good interview.
I whip it out, she whip it out, we both whip it out together. We'd be alright in the middle of the night, whipping it out together. If I were the marrying kind, which thank the Lord I'm not so, the kind of man that I would be a rugby scrum.
You're good.
You're going to come out to your stains on the siding. They're grind built up on your deck or patio. Coastal Pressure Washing Services has a warranty of professional services. From pressure washing to window cleaning to deck and fence staining, as well as dryer vent cleaning, you got it all. Call Coastal Pressure Washing at area code 757-439-9810 or visit our website at coastalpressurewashing.net. Again, call Coastal Pressure Washing at area code 757-439-9810 or visit our website at coastalpressurewashing.net.
Tired of your swimming pool's diatomaceous earth pool filter, the constant cleaning, green pool, cloudy water? I thought this was supposed to be clean. Trust your swimming pool's water quality with a custom sand filter install. A clean, easy solution to your swimming pool operations. Contact Dependable Solutions at 757-354-5517. Do you want to advertise with Deep End Broadcasting? Send us an email at deepend757@yahoo.com. That's deepend757@yahoo.com.
Know your gambling limits. Don't ever bet what you can't cover. Wagering on sports is only fun when you do it the right way. Not every bet will win. When you get on a bad run, know it and avoid trouble. Know your gambling limits.
Control your alcohol. Don't fight. Don't drink and drive. Your one punch could kill someone. It happens. You're behind the wheel. You may think you're fine, but then the other driver is under the influence of texting, and then you are done. Control your alcohol.
Family owned and operated, CP Shuckers Cafe and Raw Bar specializes in delicious cuisine, refreshing drinks, and a laid-back atmosphere. We opened our doors in 1995 and have enjoyed being a place to either relax or celebrate ever since. Whether you are in the mood to indulge in a great meal with your friends and family or watch the game, we promise that our inventive menu, attentive service, and skilled bartenders will have you truly satisfied. Both of our locations have spacious outdoor patios for enjoying the breeze.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, man?
Our friendly staff at CP.
All right, cool. We'll plug you in here in a second. We had to bump you slightly for Major League Rugby, yes. So good guest on tonight. Okay. All right. Cream of the crop for last. So stand by. We'll plug you in.
Location of choice, a call Pacific Avenue 757-425-6676 or Shore Drive 757-412-2929. More information at cpshuckers.com. Thank you for your continued support and have a show.
If I were the merry shine, which thank the Lord I'm not, sir, the kind of man that I would be a rugby scrummer. I put it in, she put it in, we both put it in together. We'd be alright in the middle of the night, putting it in together. If I were the merry shine.
This is Initiate the Contact. I am Stephen Murray, the coach Dayle Runner in studio as well. And this is the Down on the Farm segment. Coach Dale's favorite segment.
My favorite segment always.
And we have our old friend of the show from North Bay Rugby, Jeff Adamczyk on. Jeff, what's going on, man? How you doing?
You there, Jeff?
I keep talking to Dale. I'll have to plug him back in.
Okay.
Let's see where he's going.
Yeah, I think Jeff disappeared on us, man. We're trying to make sure we got him in here right because them guys are going to the national title in St. Louis, North Bay. Me and Dayle went up there and watched the regionals up there, and they destroyed all their teams they played. I mean, they just totally kicked everybody's ass. But we're looking forward to talking to Jeff tonight.
I think he's there now. You there, Jeff? That was weird. All right, technology always is interesting.
We didn't know what happened there, Jeff. We thought maybe you were still at the bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, let me ask you this. I want to get to a few things here with North Bay, Jeff. And we caught up with you last time. You kind of gave us a good background about you, and then you've been in some playoff situations. You lead a lot of teams. You are a leader of rugby. So when you are across the sideline in the playoff match against Newport News, and you see this little old team from Virginia and Coach Dayle step onto the sidelines across the way, did you laugh to yourself and say, this is going to be an easy day, we got this one? Or did you know that your hands were going to be quite full and y'all had a nice win? And I'm just joking around, of course, Coach Dayle. But right. So how'd that day go from your perspective? Yeah, let's reminisce just a hair. I know Coach Dayle said he learned a lot that game from you guys. Were you able to take something from the game, Newport News game yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, me and John talked about my backs coach. We were just like, God, usually time possession and don't turn the ball over usually wins like in any sport. But on this day, we gave way too many. Against you guys, we had 13 knock-ons, and y'all stripped us 5 times, and y'all counted with 36 points on that. And that was a great job on your part as far as, and I screwed up on some coaching aspects there. A couple times we got penalties down there. We should have kicked for points, which we didn't, because all year we never had to do that, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah, and y'all did great on that. Y'all did great on the low, high tackling, and y'all's quick passing all the way out was really outstanding. And I watched y'all on the regional too, and y'all dominated that, man. I was just like, man, why couldn't we have got to this round and had these guys on here maybe? But you know how it works over it. But I look forward to seeing y'all win the whole thing, man, unless y'all just collapse. How bad did y'all lose to them? Because we played them this year and we tied them. Just had a bad day, one of them days. I got you.
How about the path since Coach Dale's game with Newport News? What's the path like been with the opponents? Dale said he watched you dominate. But go ahead and talk about the last few weeks here leading up until where you're at now.
You should.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Right. So did it actually run longer than probably what it should have been, or is that just in your head? Okay. So July 3rd and 4th in St. Louis is the national championship, and I think is it just 2 of the 4 teams have been decided now? Is that correct? At North Bay, okay. So Detroit Tradesmen, is that who that's the lowest, that's a higher level team, right?
Well,
Right. Okay, 10-4.
yeah, they got 2 different teams up there.
Right.
A lot of tradesmen, they got like Division 2 and 3.
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Is this uncharted water for you, the Final Four? Okay, so getting your team ready for this. All right. Yeah. And so it's just a kind of a learning process for you still, trying to get your team ready for this. Do you have a good idea of what you want to try to accomplish? Still not knowing your opponents. How do you approach these next few weeks as we go into June? Oh, hey, are you fully healthy, or are you missing anyone down the stretch here?
Mm. Yeah, I would. Yeah, if I was in y'all's position, which I'm not, but I'm just throwing this out here. Well, I would probably work on the whole time. I would still do conditioning. Obviously, can never be in good enough shape. And then defensive positioning, man. That post and pillared and getting flat on defense. You can't say enough about that, man. Especially because once you start getting to this level, everybody's going to be pretty much even across the board. If you know what I'm saying. Right, right.
Okay, so everyone plays rugby basically for free. In fact, it's not free because you pay dues. You pay dues to USA Rugby. You pay dues to your team. You got to pay for your kit. You got to pay for beer money, whatever. So you guys are more than likely looking to raise funds for the travel because honestly, it's not so easy for guys just to drop everything and go on these kind of trips. Obviously, maybe someone has a deeper wallets than someone else. So you try to ease that burden off your players. What are you guys trying to do to raise funds out there, Jeff? Do you have a GoFundMe? I can put it on our banner real quick or anything if you have it. Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, nice. Okay. Do you have a website link or anything? The easiest way to purchase tickets would be? Okay. All right, Dale, we'll have to get some tickets. We'll spread the word down here too with all our boys.
Yeah.
All right, sure.
That was we played Seven River last Saturday. And yes, we ended up winning 22-12. So it was a good game. I mean, it was physical. I mean, they brought down minimum, but still, it was a good match. And we had 5 brand new guys playing just as well as they did. So it was a good opportunity for everybody that hasn't really ever played a division side match to get in there, if you know what I'm saying. So it was good. It was a good time. So we're going to do a So do you know Mark Fisher? Mark, he's my forwards coach. So he did a real good job. He really helped me out. He took a lot of pressure off me when he came. So that way I could do the head coach and he could run the forwards and Johnny Law could run the backs. That way I didn't have to do all that. You know what I'm saying? Oh wow, okay.
Jeff, so there have been plenty of times where I've never gotten to any kind of Final Four or playoff, but I've always envisioned it in my head, like the celebration. And we won tournaments and stuff like that, but I've envisioned the celebration of it, the gratification of it in my head, trying to just kind of channel it in a way, and if you kind of perceive it and see it in your head, maybe you believe it and it happens kind of thing. I haven't been fortunate enough for that to happen. We're hoping that happens for you. But have you ever had the same kind of visions? Have you ever seen yourself on top of some podium hosting that trophy there at the end, or with your teammates, or getting that medal put around your neck? Right.
I did. Man, I was.
So it's funny you say that. So I can't say I've been fully deprived. Now, my college, Radford University, won their national championship 2002 and 2009. 1998 was my last year. So technically, those young bucks had ties to that championship team when I was there. So I kind of lived in that glory and satisfaction of it. But I did go out to Stanford University, where their final was, out in San Jose, California. And yes, there's plenty of bourbon flowing for that. But Radford was fortunate enough to go up 33-0 in the first half. So that made that championship game a little easy to watch, to be honest. So we will hope for the best for you out there, Jeff, in the Final Four. Dale's considering maybe going out there and checking you guys out.
Yeah, my wife. Yeah, I like your one boy, the guy with the beard, the one that's always hyped. That guy's funny as all. I don't know his name, but he's always respectful to me. What's his name? What Zach Hayes? Yeah, tell Zach I said hello, and I'll root for him all the way if I don't get out there. My wife and I are thinking about coming out there, though. Okay,
Man, this would be a great on the road broadcast. Unfortunately, I own a swimming pool company, and leaving the second week after the pool season starts not necessarily in my. But maybe we can host from the studio with you on location, Dayle, on a special, right? Man, maybe we could do that.
Might be.
All right. Well, Jeff, look, man, good luck. We'll catch up with you down the road here. After you hoist it all or not, we'll get you back on the show and get your take about the national championship and how everything went. Just don't do what God, what is the team that I played? So a couple of my boys went up and played in Michigan, Kalamazoo. Okay, so Kalamazoo came and won their regional playoff game on Saturday convincingly, and then they took the bus out into town on Virginia Beach the night before the final and got blown away by some black and yellow team, I think 43-9. But they partied hard. They partied hard all night for sure. All right. All right, good stuff. Jeff, good luck, man. Best wishes, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Good luck.
All right, great. All right, Jeff Adamczyk from North Bay Rugby. All right, and we got the link for them up on the screen there for North Bay raffle tickets. Just go to the North Bay Men's Rugby page on Facebook, and you can find the purchase link there. The deadline, May the 19th. All right, so we covered all the angles, Coach Dayle. Major League Rugby. We got a player on, Giovanni Lapp, going up to play for the NOLA Gold, and also our boy Jeff Adamczyk, Final Four for North Bay. And you have a lot of respect for that club, don't you, Dayle?
Oh, yes, I do, because I want them to win it all. Because if they win it all, that means
you're second place.
Yeah, because I want another shot at them eventually. That's just the competitive nature of me, because I know we got to correct a few things for us to get to that level right there.
Right.
John and myself and Mark, we're going to work on that all season, and we're going to try to get to that level where most people don't want us. But you know what? We don't worry about what most people want. We want what us three want, and that's what matters.
All right, Dayle, good stuff on the rugby. Let's finish the show just real quick on NHL playoffs. I just want to get your take on NHL playoffs because they're awesome. And I know you love them and you like to talk about them. And I think hockey translates a lot to rugby with the physicality, to be honest.
Yes.
As far as any sport, it's just, goes hand in hand, really.
Yeah.
But go ahead and talk about that.
All right, real quick, so you got the four major sports, okay? You don't know what the four major sports are, right? You got the NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL. The hockey playoffs are probably the most exciting of the four majors, and I've been watching all of them for over 50 years. So the NHL can have an 8 seed beat a 1 seed any time, as it happened this year, as the Florida Panthers upset the best regular season team in the history of hockey in the Boston Bruins. They beat them in 7 games, but a lot of people don't know the year before the Florida Panthers were the President's Trophy winner who got swept by Tampa Bay in the second round. So hockey is a really courageous sport, and everybody's pretty much – you got 1 or 2 guys that are at the top of the league, but other than that, it's pretty much even across the board. But when it comes to the playoffs, it's all about goaltending and defense. If you don't have that, you're not going to win anything. So right now, the Florida Panthers – they're up 3-0 on Toronto.
0-0 last I checked live here in the second period.
Okay. And then, you got Golden's Vegas Knights. They're playing Edmonton. And everybody thinks Edmonton should walk all over them because you got –
They haven't yet.
2 of the highest scoring players in the league, and
right.
McDavid and Draisaitl. But that don't mean nothing.
It's 2-2. It's a best of 3 now.
Yeah. Because what I had to tell my wife and all these people from Pittsburgh, all these Penguin fans, right? When the Islanders swept them 2 years in a row, they're like, I don't understand how the Islanders could sweep us. I said, honey, and I told all them boys up in Pittsburgh, I said, the New York Islanders and any other team do not care about Crosby, Malkin, or anybody else. Just like when they come and play the Capitals, they don't care about Carlson, Ovechkin. They don't care about that. They're all professionals. So anybody can get beat on any given day. So right now, the Carolina Hurricanes look like the best team in the playoffs right now. That defense is on point. I know New Jersey won that one game 8-4, but them other 3 games, Carolina had them shut down tight. They couldn't do nothing. I mean, and I look for Dallas to get to the finals, to be honest with you.
Do you see a Carolina-Dallas final?
I do see a Carolina. I just don't think anybody can beat Carolina right now because
I have a ticket on Dallas to win it.
See, I took the Bruins on one card to beat Dallas. On the other one, I had the Rangers beat Dallas.
Yeah, I had about the same. I wanted the Rangers.
Man,
anyway.
I'm trying to tell you, man, they got me. Everybody got me. But that's what I like about the NHL playoffs. And right now, I'm sort of wanting the Florida Panthers to get there because it's a sentimental thing. Even though last year I was totally hot when our Capitals should have beat them in the first round. We were up 3-2, and we bombed out. We had a 3-1 lead in that game, and we choked. And they came back and won that and won the game 7. But I think, honestly, though, I think Carolina and Dallas are going to be in the finals. That's just my pick.
All right, Dale. Let's go ahead and we'll review the games for Major League Rugby one last time before we get out of here.
Okay.
And then you can go ahead and give me your 1 or 2 best locks
upsets
of the week.
Okay.
We don't have any point spreads, but on the Rugby Network, all of these games are on the Rugby Network. We don't have any major network as Fox Sports 2 or Fox Sports 1 coverage this weekend. But there is Thursday night rugby a week from tomorrow with Toronto hosting Old Glory on Fox Sports 2. So we do have Thursday rugby on the horizon. But Friday night, 7 p.m. on the Rugby Network, Toronto hosts Rugby Atlanta. Saturday, 6 p.m., Dallas hosts Utah Warriors. May the 13th, Saturday, 6 p.m., Nola Gold and our boy Giovanni Lapp and Jim Doczilla Irie host the San Diego Legion, 10-1 San Diego Legion. Houston SaberCats at 8 p.m. With a kickoff on Saturday host the Seattle Seawolves. And then on Sunday, Old Glory DC host New England Free Jacks, 1:30 p.m. and 2 o'clock. Chicago Hounds host the New York Iron Workers. All right, Dale, give me 1 or 2 picks. Who do you like?
Okay, I'm gonna take the easy pick. I'm gonna take the New York Iron Workers to wax the Chicago Hounds 49-14.
Okay.
And then the game is going to be close, but I am going to take New England to beat Old Glory just 27-23. That's my 2 locks.
Okay. I'm going to go on a limb and take Old Glory 35, New England 31.
All right.
And which I'm going to say it's more of a higher scoring game is the better bet in that scenario if you want to take that route. And then I'm going to go for another high-scoring game. How about that? I'm going to go 2 high-scoring games this week. I think the NOLA Gold and San Diego Legion will have a lot of points there in NOLA on Saturday night. Lower-scoring game I could see with Toronto and Rugby Atlanta for sure. And how about this? I'll take one side. I'll take my Utah Warriors to win by double digits over Dallas. All right, so there you go. You got
awesome.
3 solid picks for me and the leader. All right, Coach Dayle, it's been a lot of fun. We're just over an hour 10 minutes, so that's plenty of rugby talk for everyone. Of course, you can catch the replay on deepend757.com, or you can go to the Deep End Broadcasting YouTube channel link, or you can befriend me or Coach Dayle on Facebook and watch it on there. All right, so we'll go ahead and get on out of here. Coach Dayle, any famous last words as I cue up the music here?
Oh, no. One thing, we got the old boys, young
Yes,
guys.
yes. We didn't talk about that. How did we not?
I don't know.
We can get in more into that next week, right?
Yeah. May 20th at 1 o'clock at Crittenden Middle School.
I'm going to have to get on board of that, I think. I think you might have to see me out there. We'll see. All right, Coach Dayle.
All right. Good night.
All right, guys. We appreciate you tuning in. This is Initiate the Contact. Have a good night.
If I
Tell you what, Jeff likes talking now. I like that.